Hey disc golfers, welcome back to Caddy Chat with Jake and Josh. Week 18. We've got an action-packed show for you again this week. Josh, what's on the docket for him?
Oh, well, we're going to recap what happened down there at the Memorial this weekend. An exciting 4 rounds of disc golf we had down there. We're going to look ahead to Waco this week. Obviously, one of the big stops of the year. Mm-hmm. So we'll dig into that one a little bit. We are going to have a discussion in regard to the future of disc golf coverage. What is that? What are the trends? And where's that headed? And that's actually going to be about it this week. We're going to have an interview, but there was a technical difficulty, probably. Was it technical? I don't know.
Didn't pan out. Interview did not pan out.
Not going to happen this week, so maybe we'll get that next week.
So stay tuned for that.
So yeah, this will probably be a shorter episode.
Yeah, of course. All right, first things first. If you haven't gone and watched Leppy Duels, please go do that.
Yeah.
Last week's episode was fire if you haven't seen it. Star-studded cast on there. They had some good things to say, so please go watch that. Hint, hint, Josh is coming back for next episode.
I am. I'll be there this week.
So definitely tune in for episode 5 of Leppy Duels. But until then, watch episode 4 and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Memorial.
So yeah, that was an event that happened.
Yeah.
And people played disc golf.
And some people played rather well.
Some people played well. I know there were those who were doubting Gannon Buhr and his new bag and how long is it going to take him to settle into all the mental struggles he's going through right now. That's what it was, really. It's the lawsuit and everything else going on that some people thought might weigh him down. But some of us believed in him.
And some of us did not.
Knew that he could do it and paid off. No, Gannon, really, once they got to Vista del Camino, he just lit it up.
Yep.
He came alive. In that third round, all the leaders were shooting like 3 and 4 down for round 3. Mm-hmm. And Gannon came out and shot 12 down. It was a 1,094 rated round.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Now, and not taking anything away from Hammis, who in his opening round shot a 16 under
at Fountain Hills.
1,104 rated round.
Yeah.
So just crazy good golf being played. But yeah, Gannon in the third round fought his way back to the lead card. They ended up going into a tiebreaker, 3-way tiebreaker.
3-way playoff.
Yeah, with Gannon, Aaron, Gossage, and Anthony Barella. And Gannon ended up taking it down.
It's always fun when you can get a 3-way playoff between top-notch players.
Yeah, three great players. And yeah, Anthony Barella and Gossage were in it all week long on every coverage, I believe. And Hammis fell off a little bit when he got to Del Camino.
He did.
His round 3 and round 4 kind of slid him back to what did he end up, 5th place? So, I mean, still not horrible, but I'm sure he would have wanted to do better.
Yeah. And even with his quote-unquote struggles at Vista, he still only lost by 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, if he even puts in one above average round there for him, he probably wins the event.
Yeah. So
there's that. So
it was exciting.
Who did you pick?
So I had Anthony Barella winning.
Yep.
And I had I'm thinking. I got it written down here. I'll just look at it. That's easier. I had Barella, Gannon Buhr, and Drew Gibson were the top 3 of my picks in placement. So.
And you did pretty well.
Gannon and Barella right there in the top 2. That's going to treat me well. I think I had a total of 10 points then for the week.
So I won't go over my picks because I went the wrong direction again.
Not bad, though. You did fine.
No, I didn't lose too much ground this week, but I've lost too much ground in past weeks. So
lots of golf left.
Still got some work to do, and it's going to start this week.
Lots of golf left. It's going to start this week?
It's going to start this week.
Okay. I just want to say something in regard to the Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a standard in disc golf, right? It's one of those annual events.
There's a lot of nostalgia.
People like to play. A lot of nostalgia. But same way I felt about LVC. I really don't enjoy the disc golf courses with painted on OB and Mandos. I understand it's in a park. I understand those are the reasons why it's very restricted here. But like I always like to say, build me a disc golf course. Don't draw me one on the ground.
It's fair.
So it was exciting golf to watch, but at the same time, there were so many moments where it was like, that guy just cost himself 2 strokes, and it's stupid that he even had to because of the circumstances of the course. And this happened to a lot of them. This happens obviously every year at those courses because there's a lot of skip and a lot of white flags.
Yep.
Showing the OB.
I'm glad you said that. I think that's a good point.
Thanks. So I can't wait to get in the woods. Let's get out of the desert.
And that's where we're headed.
Get to some woods.
Let's take that segue and head to our Waco picks right now then.
Waco. A great course. Definitely a course where you need a big arm.
But also
it really
some skill in the woods.
Yes, it tests a lot of skills, whether it's hitting a line, getting power, getting precise power. There's a couple holes I can think of where really too short or too long and you're in trouble.
Yep.
So it should be an exciting weekend. This is the first one of the year that I really look forward to. And I'm excited to see who can pull it off this year.
And honestly, I think if you had to, there's obviously some tour events where they utilize 2 courses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not accounting for those when I say this.
Okay.
But I think the Brazos East course that they play, the Beast for Waco, is the most complete, well-rounded course on tour. Just because
for shot selection.
Just because it gives you every single shot. It gives you woods, it gives you open, it gives you short technical, it gives you distance, it gives you par 3s, it gives you par 4s. Is there one par 5?
A 5? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's a 5.
Double check, but either way, make note of that. I want to pay attention to that this year. That's an interesting observation.
Because there's plenty of courses. There's plenty of courses that I would rank ahead of the Beast course as far as best courses.
Yeah.
But if we're talking
most
well-rounded course, I think it's it.
Okay.
So watch that closely this weekend, you guys at home.
I'm thinking just in my head right now, trying to figure out what else might compete. But yeah, you're right. There's not a lot, I'll bet. Maybe the Preserve.
I have my own thoughts on the Preserve, but Kale's doing a good job slowly building it up.
All right, a couple more months we'll talk about it.
All right, so picks.
Oh, picks for Waco.
I need to go first because otherwise you'll tell me that I stole yours, per usual.
Mm-hmm.
What
do you got?
I'm going to rattle this off quick. We got James Conrad taking down the title.
Okay.
He can throw far. He can throw straight. He is accurate. And we haven't seen a whole lot of fireworks from him recently.
Okay. You think he's due?
I think he's due. So
okay.
James Conrad takes this event home. Matty O, who is never going to win, but he's always hanging around.
They should call him the bridesmaid.
They really should. Matty O is going to take second. Gannon Burr,
to see it.
He did what he needed to do at the Memorial to prove that he is mentally stable, and he's going to take third. And then my wild card dark horse pick is going to be Nico Lacastro.
I like that.
He's throwing for Lone Star. He's in Texas. He's won this event before. Nico Lacastro, baby, he's back.
You were looking at my sheet, weren't you?
I was not, but that's funny. All right, who are you picking for MPO?
So I love your picks. I like them a lot. I'm going to go with Ricky, though. I'm going to go with Ricky for number 1.
You're not worried he's going to drop on you again?
He might, so I've got 3 more picks coming. But yeah, I don't know. I hope he shows up, man. He plays there well. And then I'm going to go with Chris Dickerson, second place.
Good pick.
I think he's also got the skill set that does well at a course like Brazos.
Absolutely.
And if he finds his rhythm early, I think he's going to be a formidable opponent. So I got him coming in second. I'm going to go with Nico Lacastro in third place.
Okay.
Did you have him in third or fourth?
I had him in fourth. I had him in third, and then I flipped him.
Okay. Interesting. So my wild card I'm still struggling with, to be honest. I haven't picked him yet. I was really struggling with this one. And I liked a lot of the ones that you were talking about. I'm going to go with Barsby.
Okay.
It has been said. It is done.
Wow. All right.
Now
FPO.
I got to write those down, though, because I quick switched them all.
Oh, you made a
What did
last-second switch.
I did.
He was using my answers,
Who did
folks.
I pick?
Who'd you pick?
Yeah, who did I pick?
You had Ricky winning. Second place, you had... You have to go back. I forgot.
Dickerson.
Oh, yeah. C-Dick, and then you had Nico in third.
Yep.
All right, while you're doing that, I'll rattle off my FPO, which I was impressed enough by her performance in Vegas. I'm going to pick Henna Blomroos for our first European winner of the season on tour. Then I'm going to go with Holland Hanley in second. Katrina Allen in third. She also, all three of them really impressed me in Vegas. And then I'm going to go with Valerie Mandujano. She's from Texas, and she's going to win at home here.
I like it.
Those are my four. You might be thinking, where's Kristen Tatar? Kristen Tatar's back. Where's Paige Pierce? Paige Pierce is back. Nope. Not this week. They're not going to play well enough. Sorry.
They're not going to show up yet.
Not on the
They'll
top
be there,
three.
but they're not going to be there.
Not in the top three.
All right.
This is their warm-up event. They'll probably win the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Bold move, Cotton.
What do you got?
Kristen Page and Christina. No, I'm just kidding. I do think Kristen Tatar will win it. I do have Paige Pierce in second place.
Okay.
But I went with Missy Gannon.
Fair.
She's one of my favorite FPO players to watch. And I feel like the last couple of weeks she's done well.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then how can you root against Owen Scoggins? She had a fire couple of rounds at the Memorial this weekend as well. We didn't mention the FPO, but she cleared the field by 10 strokes. I know it's a different field. Waco's going to be a much more difficult field. A lot of more players there that she's going to have to battle. But if she's playing consistent and she's in her rhythm, like she was at Vista del Camino, where she pulled away from the field quickly, she's going to do well.
You said who could root against Owen Scoggins. There's a couple people in Peoria who could root against Owen Scoggins after she flipped off a parking attendant at Masters Worlds last year, but we won't dive too much into that.
Who hasn't flipped off a parking attendant from time to time?
I haven't, but whatever.
Not enough context.
Moving on, we had a local tournament, local to us, B tier in Kalamazoo, Michigan at Oh-My-Goshtemo Township Park, which was
the former Lumberjack Open. Can we just leave it at that?
We can just leave it at that.
Okay.
It is now called Oh-My-Goshtemo.
No, we're gonna leave it. Leave it at Lumberjack.
I couldn't do it. Oh-My-Goshtemo is this weekend at Goshtemo Township Park. Former World Championship course for the 2008 PDGA Worlds, where Dave Feldberg took down the title.
And it is a beautiful course.
Gorgeous course.
That's where I got one of my first ever wins.
Yes, you did last summer.
It was. AM2?
Yeah.
AM3.
AM2.
Probably AM3.
All right. Regardless, Josh got a win there. It's one of my favorite courses in the country, actually. And, so a couple performances we want to shout out from this weekend. Number one being our good friend Trevor Harbolt. Got his first singles PDGA win in 2 years, over 2 years.
Has it been?
Yeah. So he's been due,
right.
and
good for him.
He didn't just win. He played very well to win. It's not like he blew away the field. There's a couple people who played very well as well. But he strung together a very good tournament. Very consistent, and he deserved to win, and it was good to see him win. So happy for Trevor for taking that down. The day before, it was a split division event. Larry LeBond, who used to run the Lumberjack Open, he's now playing this year since he's not running the event, popped off. Turned in a 7 under par overall, blew away the Masters field, which wasn't a big field by any means, but he played very, very well.
He was 24 strokes ahead of second place.
He played very, very well. Averaged 1032, 1031, something like that. Really good golf. Even had a highlight on the long signature hole 5 throw in for an eagle too.
Oh, baby.
From like 100 feet. So
nice.
Credit to Larry for that one.
Congrats, Larry.
AM1, we want to pat ourselves on the back. If you go back and watch from early January, our top 10 players to watch in Michigan this year for 2023, we selected Gavin Cunningham as one of the members of that list, and he played very well.
Yeah.
He played very well, averaged just under 1,000, I believe.
Yeah.
And
about 998.
Took down AM1 by 1 stroke. So
yeah,
congrats to Gavin there.
Yeah,
well played.
Gavin.
We also wanted to shout out, what was it, AM3?
Yeah, one of our local boys, local buddies, in AM3, Ross Bosch, and I don't think he's played a lot of tournaments in his life either.
He has not.
I think this might be his first year going out and really pursuing some tournaments, and he came in second place in AM3 out of 20 guys.
Dirk Smith took it down.
But only
Ross
a couple of strokes back.
Right on his tail.
Right on his tail. He shot well over his rating for the entire weekend. And, congrats, Ross, on that second place. Well done.
So good to see there.
Great way to start the year.
Absolutely. All right, so that wraps up Oh-My-Goshtemo.
The Lumberjack Open?
The former Lumberjack Open.
The tournament formerly known as Lumberjack Open.
That would have been a funny name.
It would have been a better name.
All right. So, final segment of today, our discussion topic, which wasn't necessarily audience suggested this week. It was more Josh Wood suggested.
Yeah, it came up in conversation last week.
But we talked about it and we said, yeah, this is definitely something we want to dive into a little bit deeper now. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about what is the future of disc golf coverage, live, post-production, all the above. Where's it going? What's our prediction? Like, what are trends we're noticing? That kind of stuff. So you'd kind of gone on, stepped on your soapbox a little bit last week. Did you want to dive into that a little bit more, or how do you want to kick this off?
No, I will. I'd love to hear your thoughts just in response to what I said last week. Specifically, the comment that I think by the end of this year or next year that Jomez isn't going to be what it was just a few short years ago. There's a big shift coming that I think, and I have a couple of theories as to why that is and how that's going to play out. But yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback on that first. What were your thoughts last week?
So after you said that, I don't disagree. There's things that I have heard and things that I have seen in my travels that lead me to believe that your theory is not too far off as far as Jomez is concerned. But to touch on where disc golf is going coverage-wise in the near future and right now, I mean, I don't think there's a ton of argument that we're headed toward live for major events, Elite Series, that kind of a thing. I think post-production is on life support in that realm for the most part. The main reason being, if you look back a couple of years ago, the Pro Tour was paying post-production companies to come film their events. So just like, a tournament director, running a big A tier or whatnot, they want to get as many eyes on it. They want to get the top pros there, so they want to offer coverage, right?
Yep.
So they pay X amount of dollars, $2,500, $3,000. It depends on the scale of your event and who you're bringing in production company wise, but they're willing to offer a large sum of money to bring this production company in for the weekend to film their event. And the Pro Tour followed that same philosophy and that same business model early on. But as the Pro Tour began to take off and kind of became the tour, as we saw last year, they finally kind of merged, morphed, and took over the national tour, which
Yep.
was their only competition. And we've kind of talked about that before.
Yep.
That needs to change as well, but that's a topic
Yep.
for another day. But the Pro Tour kind of emerged as the tour. And we saw 3 or 4 years ago, they then flipped the script on post-production companies and said, hey, if you guys want the views that are going to come from our events and you want to be there filming, you're going to now have to pay us, which is a complete flip.
Yeah.
And really interesting.
A horrible decision.
Really interesting. But from the sure, it might be a horrible decision to us, but from the Pro Tour's perspective, if you can say that and they just fall in line and they pay,
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, why not say that? So what happened? That's exactly what happened. They kind of got into a bidding war slowly, and Jomez with the most views, the most financial backing from what they've built over the years, which has been a fantastic product that people love. They were the winning bid, so they every year got lead card coverage for MPO on the Pro Tour events. But each year, the Pro Tour, we can now give you this. We can now give you this as far as views and attention go. We need this from you, Jomez. We need this from you, GK Pro, in order to maintain where you're at with us. So this past year in 2022, Jomez was paying about $400,000. Yeah, it was not about. They were paying $400,000 for the rights for 2022 to film Pro Tour events, which that's the same amount of money roughly that they brought in from ad revenue from YouTube views in 2021. So if you look at it they might have picked up a couple more views in 2022. But if we're looking at ballpark figures here, we know they had to pay the Pro Tour last year $400K just for the rights to film their events. We also know that they're probably bringing in about the same number, $400K, from ad revenue. So that's money that that came in and straight out the door. It's gone. So from there, you have to think about it. Where are they bringing in revenue? They created this website, this retail merch shop. Yeah. They're definitely getting some stuff from there. But they also have to keep themselves afloat and pay their employees.
Right. And all the expenses of traveling with the tour.
You have to pay for those expenses.
Yeah.
So there goes that money that you were making off of your retail shop. And that puts you in a very interesting spot.
That's a good word for it. Interesting.
Very interesting spot. Then they also had a not real covered issue with Jerry Gomez. It was Jonathan Gomez. That's Jomez. He also had Jerry Gomez on staff, not related, but he was like his number 2. Yeah. And Jerry stepped away for some internal discussions that they had. I won't get into that, but Jerry stepped away, and Jerry was a big part of what they did. So they kind of had to transition there. New people had to fill new roles. For one, Joey Tamale stepped up. Whether you like the guy or not, it doesn't matter. He's done an okay job. He directed the Beyond Disc Golf Simon series that they did recently. So he's done good work there. But that's just another hit that they took in the midst of being in a financial situation that has not been covered. They have not talked about it. So credit to them for that, not pulling the woe is me card. But as far as Jomez is concerned, this is the reason I think your theory is pretty close to accurate. I have a hard time seeing how they can financially stay afloat.
Yeah, they can't recover
in this current market. They're going to have to morph and change something to continue to exist.
Yeah.
Whether that's being bought out by the Pro Tour, which they have clearly not wanted to do for the last 4 years. There's been a lot of resistance from them in that development. I do think it's worth taking a look at GK Pro. We talked about it on Leppy Duels a couple weeks ago. Look at what they've done. They were removed from FPO, so Jomez could take that over and gain some extra views there, which worked. Good move for the Pro Tour. But GK Pro is now partnering exclusively with the Pro Tour to monetize the GK Pro skins. So I don't know what's going on there, but I would think in that situation that the Pro Tour is probably paying them something. Because that's the GK Pro's product. And they were running that on their own, obviously with financial support from OTB and sponsors. But
I'd love to have some details on that deal. Because what it seems to me so far is that there's somebody with the Pro Tour involved in this media coverage has spun a tale to somebody with this incredible marketing plan to grow disc golf, and I think they're going to shoot it in the foot. I think so far every one of these deals you've talked about sounds like the most ridiculous deal to make. Sounds like a lose-lose for everybody except the Disc Golf Pro Tour, but even at that, in the end of the day, if they kill all of these companies because they're charging them too much money and nobody can keep up and stay afloat and meet these crazy demands just for the privilege of filming year-round, then nobody's going to be there to record their rounds, and the Disc Golf Pro Tour is going to be nothing because nobody's going to care because nobody's going to be covering it.
So here's the thing. The Pro Tour has established in the past couple of years that, and what they've held over these post-production companies' heads is that we have the ability at the Pro Tour to put out the same post-produced content. Now, we saw them try this, I believe, 3 years ago. They tried it. It was when the Memorial was still on tour. They tried it, and it was dreadful. Yeah. Absolutely dreadful. And they can say they've gotten better, whatever.
And they might have, and they can polish those things up, but
that's what they were holding over these companies' heads a couple of years ago.
We can do it without you. If you want in, pay us.
Exactly. Now,
it's just bad for the sport in general. It might be good for your pocketbook right now, but when you're doing more damage to the future of disc golf, because the other thing that I think is one of the beauties of post-production, next day coverage, is that if somebody's just getting into the sport, they've got something to sit on the edge of their seats, something to do on the weekend, something to watch and get excited about disc golf. A new golfer is not going to accidentally stumble across a $5 a month subscription to watch live coverage and make sure that they're home on their couch at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. That's just a stupid marketing plan that is not going to get new subscribers and new players excited. It's not going to help grow the sport. It's just going to monetize the people that are already here. It's a money grab, and it's going to do damage to the sport in the long run.
So what suggestion would you make to the Jomez's, the GK Pros, the Ace Run Productions, the gatekeepers of the world?
Stop paying. If the Disc Golf Pro Tour, number one, if you all say no, we're not going to give you $500,000 a year just for the rights to film, they're going to have to find another way to do it.
And they will do it themselves.
They will do it themselves, and maybe it'll get better over time. But in the meantime, we love you, Jomez, and we love you, GK Pro. And even if you're not showing Pro Tour stuff, if you're going to other A Tours around the country like we were 3-4 years ago, we'll be just fine. We'll keep watching.
I think that right there, that's the key.
Yeah.
I think that's what they have in their back pocket. If they go to the Pro Tour and they say, hey, we ain't paying anymore, and the Pro Tour says, okay, screw you, we can do it ourselves, bye.
Yeah.
The Pro Tour will be hurt by that because that's $500,000 that's not coming in anymore.
Yep.
Just financially talking. $500,000 is $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So whether the Pro Tour makes way more than that or not doesn't matter.
Well, not only is it not coming in, now we have to pay some money out to pay other people to do this production stuff.
Yeah. And then
so it's probably going to be a net loss of $700,000 a year.
And then on top of that, your production value just took a hit.
Yep.
So there's that.
You're not going to get the views that Jomez got.
Oh, and the reason that I think that post-produced companies can afford to do that is because you have plenty of big turns. We just saw it this past weekend, like you mentioned, at the Memorial. There's plenty of big names there. There's plenty of top talent. It's an easy enough to film course. And people are dying and starving for that content. that's not being covered except by Terry Miller.
Yeah,
who,
and please, somebody else film that. Somebody else, anybody but Terry.
We appreciate Terry being out there, obviously, because we get to watch it. However,
Yes.
the job that Jomez or GK Pro or Gatekeeper would be able to do would be enormously higher quality than Terry. It's just the way it is because they're good at what they do. And those terms are still going to pay you, Jomez. They're going to pay you to show up. You're getting paid.
You'll get paid to go there.
Versus the 400.
Remember the good old days?
Versus the $400,000 that you're flushing down the toilet.
When people paid for your services.
I
think another good example of that is, okay, the Memorial is one thing that's been a staple on the tour for years. People are familiar with that. But GK Pro also went and taped Crush on the Concho over in Texas, and I'm watching the heck out of that.
Yeah,
and I love it, and I'm enjoying it. And Nico's there, and they're doing some good stuff. Casey White, man, the front nine on round 1, 9 under through 9, he was just on fire.
But I think that's
fun to watch, and I will watch that.
That's what they have in their back pocket. It's guaranteed views. It might not be Pro Tour views, but it's guaranteed views. You're still getting ad revenue from YouTube, and you're getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
Versus you shelling out the money. I mean,
yeah. So again, I think it's somebody in the marketing department thinking a couple of things. There's a couple of thoughts that I have in this regard. I think one of them is thinking, okay, we're in a place, we're poised to grow. Disc golf's grown more in the last couple of years than it ever has before. Hurry up, let's get to the point where the PGA is with their coverage. Let's make it look the same. Let's do it live like they do. Let's do everything just like they do.
Yep.
Not realizing that, and no offense, I watch ball golf. I enjoy ball golf. But the model of how that is done in the course of a weekend on television is very boomer. I mean, it's not the type of coverage that we enjoy as a younger generation of this new sport.
Josh just lumped himself into the younger generation.
Yeah, I'm a zennial. I'm not a boomer. What are you talking about? Ain't no boomer.
Just giving you a hard time.
No, that's fine. But I think, again, like the model of how they do PGA coverage is not what is going to be the best model for how we watch disc golf.
So you're saying Disc Golf Network needs to come up with their own unique tweaked approach.
They should have.
Yes.
They should have. But even that, I think they should have left it post-produced. You want to grow, you want to make it a little bit better, then get a bigger team and have same-day post-produced coverage. I know it takes hours. It takes a lot of work. I know those guys put in a lot of time. And so bear with me. It might not, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be, so there's a way that it can be done. You could, as you're going, you could easily be an hour back behind live putting it out. Mm-hmm. Well, you understand enough about video. Like,
it's possible.
This can happen.
It's possible.
But I don't think it needs to be live at all. I think it is going to be, at least for a while, until that train collides with the mountain that they're headed toward. And I don't know what's going to end up happening with all of this cataclysm that we're talking about with Jomez and GK Pro. GK Pro had their own problems last year with the skins too. So, I mean, there's a lot of quaking going on in disc golf media. So one of the problems, again, is I think somebody was saying, okay, look, we're growing. Let's do this really quick and get polished and get like the PGA by next year. That was one of the problems. The other problem is, again, I guess what I already said is putting it behind a paywall to watch live coverage. And even the way that they've gone about that, I don't know if they changed it this year yet, but last year, after the live feed, it went off.
Yep, it's the same.
And why do I pay $5? I'm not going to be home on a Friday afternoon to watch it.
And I kind of talked about that last week, reacting from Vegas. The Pro Tour every year says, hey, Disc Golf Network's bigger, better, we fix this. And it's not. It's not any better. It's the same product.
Right. So.
Yeah, continue.
I'm probably just going to go back to every once in a while when there's a tournament that I can't find anywhere else, I'll pay the $5 that month. But then I'm not going to stay on it for the whole year. But I think the best thing to do is to go back to having good, polished, post-produced coverage every week.
Okay. Josh wants to go back to 2018. The glory days.
The glory days of disc golf coverage.
All right,
the golden age.
My quick thoughts on that. I disagree. I think live is the way to go. If we're talking just straight, if disc golf is growing the way we think that it is and the way that we've seen in the past couple of years, it's to the point where enough people want to be out there watching, enough people are pumping out results on social media, little clip videos, or just tweeting about who knows what on the course, that it's going to get spoiled. The word's going to get out. That lowers the value of post-produced coverage at some point. Live, though, just live to post-produced, the drama is where I get lost. I love the polished product of a Jomez round.
It's the best way to watch.
You cannot argue that Jomez is even in the same conversation as what the Disc Golf Network is producing. It's not even close. But Jomez cannot build the drama like the Disc Golf Network can, because it's not live. I go back to the holy shot from Conrad. They already knew it happened. They did their best job possible on the commentary, on the filming, to build it up. It was still incredible to watch over and over and over.
I did.
However, watching that shot live was something on another level. I remember watching it go in, and I was just blown away. And even though...
But I was too, and I was watching it 3 hours later, and I was still blown away. It was an amazing shot.
Even though the Disc Golf Network screwed up the audio, it was bad. You had Nate Doss doing his poor commentary thing, and trying to ruin the moment and make it about himself, but whatever. The point is the drama that built and just the amazement of, oh my goodness, that just happened. Just seeing everybody react is different than what you're going to get with Jomez, especially down the stretch of like a 16, 17, 18th final holes. People are jockeying for position. Yeah. It's a tight race. Being able to build that up over the span of 20 to 25 minutes as you get to see people sit there and think about their shot. Think about the stupid throw that they just made, or the putt that just bounced off of the cage and rolled to 25 feet, and now they have a tough comeback. Listening to someone talk to their caddy on a shot before a big shot. Those are the things that are lost in post-production, and if they are included in post-production, they don't have the same value, because who cares at that point?
Yeah.
I don't care
I could not disagree with you more. I just couldn't. I watched that holy shot 100 times, and I still get blown away when I watch it, and I still love it. And you say it can't compare, but here's the thing. What can't compare is me actually being out on the disc golf course on a beautiful Saturday afternoon and a Sunday afternoon playing disc golf.
Fair point.
Instead of huddled up in my house trying to watch it live, because if I don't watch it now, I'm not going to get to watch it at all. So, again, the only way, in my opinion, that this works in a way that makes me happy, and that's all they really care about, I'm sure, is, okay, do your live, but once that broadcast is over, let me replay it. And also give me the post-produced.
And that is a Disc Golf Network error, and they have error. That's been an error of theirs for years now.
Yeah.
And it needs to be fixed. The only time it was possible is when they just went for free on YouTube and you could just rewatch it. There are platforms you can use, Disc Golf Network, that will fix this problem. I know they might cost a little bit more. I know they might take some tweaking. Like, we got to move over here now. We got to pay these people not. Do it. It's better for the sport. And I think you would rather see Jomez, obviously, the polished product. However, if it does have to be live, I hear what you're saying. You want to be able to...
I want to be able to go home after work and watch it.
And watch it on your own time.
Yeah.
And only have to block out the world for 2 hours until you get home and you have time to sit down on your couch. But then you can also fast forward through boring moments or commercials or whatever. There's that perk to it too. But yeah, the Disc Golf Network, you got to fix that. That's a bad error.
I just think they can. Yeah,
It's bad.
whoever's planning all of this just needs to be fired.
All right, my theory
He's probably some
here's theory time.
Gen Z guy who's trying to be super hip and cool.
Theory time for me. You ready? I have nothing to back this up. The Jomez things, I had some information to back that up.
But this one not so much.
This one not so much. Okay. Just from what I've observed being on site on multiple occasions and slightly behind the scenes. I think the Pro Tour has a 5-ish year plan in place that they are doing not the bare minimum, but a little bit over. Let me rephrase. The Disc Golf Network. Did I say the Pro Tour?
I don't know.
The Disc Golf Network has a 5-ish year plan in place where they're not doing the bare minimum. They're doing slightly above it, but they're kind of just floating in as far as what financial investment they make to what product they're trying to put out. And I think their ultimate goal is in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they're trying to get picked up by a bigger broadcasting fish. The Pro Tour has made it very clear that they are separating themselves from the Disc Golf Network. They own the Disc Golf Network. It's their child. They produce it. However, they have made it very clear that they are separate. The reason is the Pro Tour is going to be the Pro Tour. They want to be the Pro Tour. They want to be the king of disc golf events in the world. However, the Disc Golf Network is just their child. And this is just a theory again. Mm-hmm. But I strongly believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, you are going to see the Disc Golf Network sold or the rights given away to somebody else, whether it's an ESPN, whether it's a smaller, what was the old channel, the Speed channel or something?
I don't know. I don't have cable.
The point being some offshoot that'll actually broadcast it, film it themselves, and kind of take what the Disc Golf Network has established and build off of it with bigger and better resources. That is my theory.
It's an interesting theory.
That they are doing just over the bare minimum to get by, keep people invested, and then sell so that they can go, so the Pro Tour can go bang. That's what it's about.
Yeah, right.
The Pro Tour wants to go bang.
I just don't trust their timing and methodology. I think they're doing it wrong.
You heard it here first.
I think they're going to do more damage than they do good.
To the sport of disc golf?
Yep. And to the Pro Tour itself, because like we said, if this went the way that we were talking about a little while ago with Jomez and GK Pro doing more off-tour events and actually getting paid for their work, then I think it hurts the Pro Tour payouts. It hurts the Pro Tour excitement.
It does.
It's going to do a lot of damage to the Pro Tour all around.
Do you think... I think the Pro Tour is too prideful. I don't want to say arrogant. It's a strong word, but too prideful to admit that. I'm sure they know it deep down, but if Jomez, GK Pro, whatever, were to walk away and say, and kind of band together and say, yeah, we're done. We're not paying you anymore. We'll go do these big A tiers and we'll do just fine.
Yeah.
The Pro Tour, like we talked about, is going to put their foot down, being prideful and say, no, we can do this ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We also know that they're not going to put out the same product as those top post-production companies. So if that were to happen, now we've got probably a full year in there.
At least.
Where
coverage.
maybe 2, where you've got below par post-produced coverage of the top players and the top events. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, GK Pro and Jomez are going to hold their own. They're going to sustain themselves. They might not be operating huge in the black, but they're going to sustain themselves.
Yep.
Going and visiting A tiers and picking up the top players there. And like Jomez has proven, they can still produce top content that people want to watch off the disc golf course. With, like I was talking about before, the Beyond Disc Golf with Simon Lizotte thing.
Yeah.
Well produced, people love it. A lot of people are watching that. So that type of a thing.
Are anybody watching the putting games anymore?
I don't know. I think so. But that's another thing that would involve them following the tour a little bit closer.
Yeah.
They would also lose their practice rounds with German Yuli and Sexton when he's
That's
there.
true, and those are enjoyable. But they could do that elsewhere.
Yeah, that shouldn't. Yeah,
They could do some practice rounds
They
for the
should.
River City Open.
they could. Regardless, we're talking a year or two if that happened. If
okay.
they pulled the plug, there's a year or two vacuum in there
Mhm.
where coverage drops, takes a post production coverage takes a hit, which still has a large audience right now. What happens then? Does the Pro Tour come crawling back?
If they were smart, yes.
Do you think it could come to a point where the Pro Tour comes crawling back and says, "Hey, come post produce for us"? Like we'll pay you again, or you can do it for free, whatever, or we'll lower the price.
Something.
Or do you think it comes to a point where the Pro Tour realizes how valuable they are and actually pays them what they're worth to be part of the Pro Tour?
I think that would be the ideal situation. But again, and I'm really not trying to be
Would you like to see GK Pro or Jomez get absorbed by the Pro Tour?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. I'm not trying to be mean, but I do think that whoever is putting this plan together is overreaching and just needs some counselors to come in and say, "Hey, buddy, it's okay. Take a deep breath. We can get through this. We need to do this differently, though." And especially, we talked about this a little bit. Maybe it was on Leppy Duels in regard to sponsorship. I think for all of this to be profitable enough to be sustainable and to actually move forward and grow the sport and become mainstream, we need some sponsors, man. Like, we need a Pepsi Cola, a Bass Pro Shop. We need money for the Disc Golf Pro Tour to be able to pay Jomez to come without anybody having to lose money.
I'm glad
to keep the payouts big.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's something Jomez has not proven that they can do is go out and get the sponsor.
Yeah.
GK Pro on their skins has gotten, for example, Rocket League sponsoring holes.
Fortnite.
I don't know if that's OTB's marketing team pulling that off because OTB's doing the skins match. I assume it is.
It is.
But
they've talked about that before a little bit.
Okay. That connection's there, so GK Pro doesn't have that ability either. The Pro Tour has that ability.
And needs to work a lot harder at that.
Yes.
Because that's where we're going to get big purses. That's where we're going to get quality content that is valued properly.
But I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's part of the issue here is that value right now, as far as disc golf media companies go, the Pro Tour is the only one with the skill set in that sponsorship-seeking department to pull it off right now. I don't think Jomez, they haven't shown they can do it. Like we said, GK Pro hasn't shown they can do it. The Pro Tour has shown that they can do it. They might need to work harder at it. Way
harder.
They might have room to grow, but they're the only ones who have shown anything in that department.
Yeah.
I mean, Barbasol's not the biggest name that you can get in the world, but it's bigger than anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's
you got Bushnell, you got Barbasol, but those are really two of the only big worldwide companies who are dipping their toes into disc golf. And we need more of it. That's where the money's at, man.
So maybe we are suggesting Jomez and GK Pro. It might be time to put your foot down and do something.
Know your worth, King.
But also you might want to look into the sponsorship realm and hire somebody that is just gung-ho about diving in and doing sales stuff, basically.
Yeah.
And is willing to go to town and bring in somebody big because if Jomez were able to come in with all of their social media support on YouTube specifically, they've got firepower there. And
I'm not going to give them away for free, but I've got 5 companies off the top of my head that would align perfectly with disc golf.
So hire Josh
with hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But my point is they've got firepower to throw at a company like this. They don't have live views, but they have post-produced views, which can be watched over and over and over, and the Disc Golf Network can't even be replayed.
Right.
So Jomez, you have firepower. GK Pro, you do too. Jomez a little bit more. But
But yeah, give us a call.
We'd love to talk to you.
We'll help you out.
All right. Self-promotion there. So that wraps up our discussion topic for this week. We rambled on and on, but hopefully you got some good stuff out of it and enjoyed the conversation. So we'd love to know your thoughts below.
Yes,
please drop a comment. We said a lot of things. We spouted a couple theories. Let us know if you've got theories. Let us know where we are outlandish in our theories.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear that too. And please, if you need to, you don't want your name out there, create a fake account and drop a comment that way.
Yeah, for sure. And I would love to know. I know that there are a lot of people in West Michigan who really do enjoy the live coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of people right now that I'm sure are watching. I know who you are. And you're mad at me for not liking live coverage. But yeah, share your comments. Let us know why you think that's the way to go and why they're doing it right. That's more important, because whether or not we think that's the way it should go, the biggest beef is that they're not doing it right, and they're doing a lot of damage right now. So if we're wrong, let us know why. I'd love to hear it. I'll chew on it. I'll admit when I'm wrong, if I am. But we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Other than that, as always, toss a comment in there. Some other topic you'd like us to discuss in future weeks. We'd love to hear your thoughts there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Watch Leppy Duels episode 4. And stay tuned for this weekend for episode 5 of Leppy Duels. We got another star-studded cast.
I can't wait.
Headlined by Josh Wood.
That's right. I'm going to win this time.
Yeah. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. And until then, keep your head in the game.